On the battlefield, Russian attack aircraft tried to break through Ukrainian positions on motorcycles to hoist their flag, but the Azov Corps drones quickly defuse and decommunize them. The Azov unit shared video footage showing another attempt by the invaders to break through the battle formations of the defense forces by any means. The main actors were infantry on motorcycles and many ways to destroy them. In the last attack, the Russians took their tricolor and red cloth, all in order to hoist the flag on the ruins. However, thanks to the professional actions of the Azov unit, the Russians were unable to reach their intended target. After several falls, the enemy attack aircraft fell off their motorcycles and huddled together, becoming easier prey for Ukrainian drones. The flags themselves, as befits such symbolism, were mixed with the earth and the remains of the invaders.
Nice.
The Sharp Carthusian unit published a video of the liquidation of one of the Ichthyanders, who tried to break through the rear of the Ukrainian defense forces using combat divers. In one direction, the enemy began to use entire groups of divers. Today, one of these invaders was caught and well recorded on camera. Just as it had passed the water barrier, the report said. It was noted that these were not ordinary infantrymen, but trained fighters who were trying to reach the Ukrainian rear along the river. They were not visible on thermal imagers, and there was no movement either, because they were moving underwater. So today we caught a good Crucian carp, added Ghostry Karchazy, commenting on the destruction caused by the invaders wearing bulletproof vests over diving suits. The latest frontline report also shows that the operators of the Azov Brigade's unmanned systems managed to eliminate enemy forces over the past week. The video compilation shows the Phoenix unit destroying artillery, air defense complexes, armored vehicles and vehicles of the Russian invaders in the Kharkiv direction. Over the past week, the fighters have destroyed the TOR-M2 air defense system, 2 S-19 Msta-S self-propelled guns, 3 tanks, a 42 30mm cannon, 17 military trucks, and 3 enemy cars, the report said. Ukrainian FPV drones caught single invaders and made them deeply regret their decision to set foot on Ukrainian soil. The video of the hunt for the lost enemy infantrymen was shared by fighters from the Flying Skull unit. And so that the invaders could fully realize how big a mistake they were to covet someone else's territory, the Ukrainian drone gave them time to think. However, the Russians themselves did not appreciate this at all, and wasted this opportunity to hug trees, try to fight off the drone with their feet, and lie down in the thick grass for a while. An interesting video shared by the drone operator from the Shark Caps unit shows a heavily armed Russian invader racing on a motorcycle through a destroyed settlement. But despite the considerable speed, the Ukrainian drone managed to land him. But the most interesting thing was filmed by a cameraman who flew in to do additional reconnaissance. Within 10 minutes after the impact, someone took the motorbike and hit it, but the wounded man remained in the same place. That is, for the Russians, evacuating the motorbike turned out to be more important than rescuing their fallen comrade. That's how the Russians don't abandon their own people, although maybe a new motorbike turned out to be more important to them than the wounded, Ukrainian defenders say ironically. Ukrainian troops have crossed the border into Russia in what appears to be a second attack on the Kursk region. Ukrainian troops have fired missiles, breached the border, and used special vehicles to cross minefields, pro-Russian journalists say. They blew up bridges with rockets overnight before launching an armored assault in the morning, taking advantage of bad weather. A Russian Telegram channel reporting on the war said at least 50 Ukrainian soldiers had crossed into the region, with fighting reported near the villages of Zvano and Tekino. The channel reported, demining vehicles began moving through the minefield, followed by armored vehicles carrying troops. There is heavy fighting on the border. The reported attack follows claims by Russian military leaders last month that Ukrainian forces had been completely driven out of the Kursk region after what was described as the largest offensive into Russian territory since World War II.